was an only child for the first 5 years of my life, where I enjoyed receiving 100% of my parents' attention. All too soon, though, my parents decided to have another child. I knew that my world was about to change forever, and I knew that I did not want this to happen. The article, Preparing a Child for the Birth of a Sibling, published in 2013 and written by Virginia Coleman, states, regardless of a child's maturity level, the world has changed forever with the birth of a sibling. Siblings are often close friends as adults, but during childhood, many siblings struggle with the competition for attention. We will first be discussing sibling rivalry, then we will move into sibling aggression, and last we will talk about ways to prevent and control sibling rivalry. Let's start off with defining sibling rivalry. As stated in the article, Sibling Rivalry, published in 2011 and written by Brenda Voling, sibling rivalry is the jealousy, competition, and fighting between brothers and sisters. What parents need to know is that their children are simply defining who they are. They want their parents to know that they are a separate person from their sibling. Children that struggle with sibling rivalry may not be aware of the more positive ways that they can gain attention from their parents. Some examples as to what can create sibling rivalry are listed in the article Sibling Rivalry, published in 2012. These examples include changing needs, different personalities, and instances of special needs or sick children. The article further discusses how different types of sibling rivalry arise at different ages. An example given is that toddlers feel that they must have their own toys. Children that age are not very willing to share. They may act aggressively in order to protect their toys. Teenagers, on the other hand, may be upset that they are the oldest. As the oldest child, they are expected to take on more responsibility, including watching their younger siblings. Sibling rivalry is just silly fighting between children. And while it may be annoying, things can be much worse when your children become aggressive. According to the article Personal Experience and Perceived Acceptability of Sibling Rivalry, published in 2010 and written by Hardy, Beers, Burgess, and Taylor, when an adult hits another adult, it is called domestic violence. When an adult hits a child, it is called abuse. When a child hits another child, it is sometimes called bullying. But when a sibling hits another, it is called rivalry and is considered by most to be a normal part of life. Sibling aggression is much deeper than sibling rivalry. This occurs when siblings begin physically hurting one another. This article continues further to tell of a study done by Owen and Strauss in 1975. What they found was that siblings with incidents of violence as children are more likely to use violence in their adult lives to get what they want. Another study discussed in this article showed that men are more accepting of sibling aggression than women. Those who had siblings were also more accepting than those who did not. According to Sibling Rivalry, published in 2011, any fights that are potentially dangerous to the siblings needs to be stopped right away. At this point, the children should be taken away from each other. The children need to know that violence is never okay. This type of violence can develop into sibling abuse. In these cases, one sibling is usually the victim and the other is the perpetrator. These situations most often require professional help. Sibling aggression is clearly a negative step up from plain sibling rivalry. Therefore, we should look at what parents can do to help. Now we will end our discussion with ways to prevent and control sibling rivalry. One way parents can help with sibling rivalry is shown in the article Sibling Rivalry, published in 2011. This is family meetings. Family meetings can be extremely beneficial for both children and adults. During these meetings, the family should create ground rules. Everyone is allowed to share their opinion at these meetings because the point is to clarify that everyone is an individual and everyone has different needs. Sibling Rivalry, published in 2012, gives more ideas as to how parents can control sibling rivalry. Parents need to remember that sometimes one child does need more attention than others. Each child needs individual attention. Parents need to spend time with each of their children individually doing the activities that they enjoy. Individual activities show the child that they are cared for and loved equally. Kids need time to play on their own. For example, older children should not always have to take their younger siblings with them. Spending time with their own friends is important. Lastly, parents need to handle situations of sibling rivalry with patience. If one parent is stressed, they need to hand the responsibility over to the other parent. Children most often only want the attention of their parents, and by handling a situation poorly, the child receives negative attention. Sometimes the best thing to do is leave the room, and then the children no longer have a reason to fight for the attention of their parents. We now know that sibling rivalry is a common occurrence between brothers and sisters. Most of the time, the fighting is harmless. However, the fighting can develop into sibling aggression. This matter needs to be taken care of, as sibling aggression can have negative effects on the child in their future. That is what led us to discussing ways of preventing and controlling sibling rivalry. Children are constantly competing for the attention of their parents, and that is why parents need to be careful about what they say and do when dealing with an outburst. Now we will go back to when I thought my life was over. My sister was born, and I spent very little time with her. Throughout the years, our ability to get along has changed. Once she was old enough to play with me, we were okay, as long as she listened to me. Later, we grew apart as I got into high school and she was stuck in elementary. Now that we are both older, we get along much better. We are able to hang out and talk, and we no longer have childish fights. I guess having a little sister wasn't so bad after all. Thank you.